Testing, testing. Alright then. This is First Mate Alan Brecker. Well, Captain Alan Brecker, actually, of the Hermon refugee ship. Where to begin? This is a mess. We've just woken from stasis, so everything's blurred. It's been a bad day. We were en route to the colonies in Alpha Centauri when we ran into something. A rogue planet, we think, something almost imperceptible to our telescopes. We lost around 400 in the crash, including Captain Williams and 3 other senior staff members. It seems that we've fallen into some kind of subsurface ocean, so we can't really see anything. We've tested the water and it seems to be drinkable. The hydroponic farming systems are most likely intact, and we should be able to recycle air for at least 1,000 years, but we have no idea exactly where we are or even how long we've been in stasis. Everything is broken, most of the passengers and some of the crew are dead, and I don't know how long we can keep things together. Please, if you're hearing this, please send help. Is it on? Doesn't look like it's on.
It's fine.
Is it that button there?
No, I think that's the volume.
The light's on. It's fine.
First senior crew meeting of the Hermon. First Captain Brecker presiding. Would you say your names for the record?
Dr. Amelia Faheem, Chief Medical Officer.
Gerard, Joyce, Chief Engineer of the Hermon.
Alright then. It's been 2 days since we crashed. Parts of the ship took on water or were otherwise damaged on impact, but the rest of the ship remains intact. Presumably we're on the seafloor, though we can't know for sure how far down we are. Hull integrity is stable, so we likely aren't very deep, but we don't know anything more than that. The water is surprisingly temperate, we think as a result of the localized geothermal activity. All of the drones and spacesuits were lost in the landing, so we don't know what conditions are like on the surface, though without a star, we don't anticipate anything beside a frigid waste. We have no idea if or when we're being rescued, so we need to plan for the worst. Gerard, how are we doing on getting the power systems back online?
We're trying to get everything up and running, but the engine room is sealed off. The ship isn't built to be repaired on this level by the crew alone. There's no chance we can get it in shape to take off. We weigh too much, not even counting the water we've taken on, and we don't have enough fuel to get off planet, but we need the engine for pretty much everything else. For now, the only power we have is from the reserves and backup generators.
How long will that last?
Assuming we don't have to power anything but the lights and filtration systems, we'll be fine for the foreseeable future, but we don't know how deep the damage goes. For all we know, we could be down here for 30 years and then the hull could give out all of a sudden and drown us, or the engine could spontaneously combust. We also need the drones working so we can survey the environment, maybe send one to the surface to triangulate our location. I need as many people as possible working on the ship as soon as possible, civilians included.
Amelia, what's the status of the passengers?
We think there are around 90 left, bringing the total number of survivors to 113, but we're still pulling stasis pods out of the damaged portions of the ship, so hopefully there are more. There's no way we can put them to work already. Half the survivors are injured and the rest are in shock.
When will they be ready to work?
It's hard to say. I only have 3 other doctors left in the clinic, and we can't process everyone at once.
Has anyone checked on the food supply?
Marin took inventory yesterday. We should have enough to hold us over for about 6 months, but she says we should begin cultivating food on the hydroponic level as soon as possible.
Good then. It sounds like we all know what we need to do. Let's get back to work. Impromptu senior crew meeting of the Hermon to discuss
unexpected complications regarding the state of the ship.
Gerard, would you care to fill us in?
The engine is completely blown, meaning we can't use it to power the ship.
What's the issue? I thought you said we would be fine on the reserves for now.
My team noticed something off with the atmosphere controls a few hours ago. The CO2 levels were increasing at a minuscule but consistent rate. At first, we thought it was an issue with the sensors, but then we took another look at the filtration systems. It seems like there was more damage from the flooding than we expected.
Meaning?
Most of the life support functions are barely running and using up way too much power, working far past regular capacity. There's no way to tell how bad the damage is until we can get a drone inside the mechanisms. It could be an easy fix, or it might be done for. We need to start considering the possibility that in order to survive out here, we might need to take more drastic measures.
What are you proposing?
We need to reduce resource usage however we can.
We don't even know what the situation is yet. Let's table this discussion until we know for certain there's a problem. Gerard, getting that engine running is our top priority. Senior crew meeting of the Hermon to discuss the fallout of a homicide.
I don't see what there is to discuss.
Gerard, a passenger murdered Roderick.
Yes, and?
We need to discuss our response.
We kill him. I don't see the point in waiting around and talking about it. He confessed.
Excuse me? We aren't barbarians. We can't just go around disposing of everyone we find troublesome.
Don't act so bothered. Our home is gone. Our friends are dead, and we're stranded in the middle of space, possibly for the rest of our lives. We can't waste time and resources on some homicidal ingrate.
I worry it's not that simple. The passengers are becoming suspicious of the crew. They don't like that we get to make all the calls. They don't trust us like they did Captain Williams. If we execute the killer, they might see it as an attack.
Only the ones with murderous intent. We need to set an example.
It doesn't matter what you think he deserves. People will become agitated if we execute him.
And others will be upset if we don't. Do you have any other ideas on how to deal with him?
I know that there have been talks of organizing an expedition to the surface. They want to see if the outside is habitable.
That's absurd. There's no sun, an electromagnetic field, probably not even an atmosphere. Nothing could possibly survive out there.
None of that matters if they don't trust us.
What does this have to do with the murder?
We can send him to the surface on one of the landing shuttles, with rations so he can survive if it's livable. We'll give him a radio, so if he survives, he can send word back to us.
Why would the psychopath with a death wish share this information with us?
It doesn't matter because he won't survive. That's the same as a death sentence. Even if he could last 10 seconds out there, which he can't, the water surface is probably frozen over by now. We've been here for weeks, and even if it weren't, he'd be stranded in the middle of an ocean.
It still looks better than outright killing him, and puts the whole issue of the outside to rest.
This actually doesn't seem like a terrible idea.
This is insane. He'll die either way.
He needs to be dealt with, and the passengers need to have sense talked into them. This kills two birds with one stone.
At least this way, we might not be blamed.
Fine.
We're decided then. This is Captain Brecker of the Hermon colony ship. I repeat, Captain Brecker of the Hermon. We've been stranded on a rogue planet somewhere between Sol and Alpha Centauri for around a month. The passengers are increasingly irate. We can't last much longer. A member of the crew has been murdered. Around a third of the passengers refuse to cooperate with us, and they have isolated themselves in the lower decks. Apparently they're convinced we aren't alone out here. I fear that madness is taking hold. If anyone is out there, please send immediate help. Senior crew meeting to discuss impending emergency. Captain Brecker presiding. Gerard?
The engine is completely shot. Even if I had the tools and manpower, there's no way we can salvage it, meaning we have no way of powering the life support systems.
So how long do we have?
Depends on how much of the system is functional. I would guess around a month, though that's probably being generous. We need a smaller population.
We aren't killing anyone.
Then what do you propose? We just let ourselves suffocate to death?
It shouldn't be just our decision.
Are you saying we should tell the passengers?
They deserve to know the extent of the situation.
They would panic and start killing each other. If we cull the population, we can at least make sure there isn't chaos.
And how do you propose we do that? Take them on a spacewalk?
The life support systems can still separate CO2 from the air, it just can't convert it to anything useful. We could divert the excess into the lower decks, getting rid of the second group. That will buy us at least a bit more time.
You want to kill those poor people because they're having a nervous breakdown?
Gerard, is there any chance you could further optimize the filtration system?
It's highly unlikely.
But possible.
Technically, yes.
We'll hold off as long as possible then. We won't bring anyone into the fold until it becomes absolutely necessary. Gerard, keep working on the life support. Amelia, make sure that everyone's keeping calm and healthy. We're done here. Senior crew meeting of the Hermon to review the progress of repairs and general administrative tasks. Captain Brecker presiding. Are there any pressing topics that need to be discussed?
A few people have come to sickbay apparently with symptoms of food poisoning. It's not a major concern, though it may indicate some of the rations were contaminated.
We can have someone go down to storage later and take a look at that. Anything else?
The situation with the filtration systems hasn't improved, but it looks like if we cut off power to the lower decks, dim the lights, and source all our water from the outside, we may be able to...
Sorry, this room is reserved for the crew. What is that?
Oh my god!
Dr. Amelia Faheem of the Hermon, presiding over an emergency senior crew meeting in the wake of an attack.
Are you recording right now?
It's important to leave a record, in case we aren't rescued in time. Here, let me look at the wound.
What the hell was that?
It must be the group from the lower decks.
There were only a few dozen of them. There were at least 20 storming Alan's room, and I saw more on their way here. This is something much larger. I wonder what could possibly motivate all the passengers to organize a revolt, Amelia.
Oh no, no, they must have found out about the air supply.
And who might have tipped them off?
I'm not a traitor.
You said they had a right to know.
Well, it must have been one of yours because I didn't talk.
If you say so.
Oh my god, Alan. We need to go back for Alan.
Alan is dead, Amelia. If we try to leave, they'll kill us.
What about the rest of the crew? We can't leave them out there.
If they made it to the captain's quarters, they're all over the ship. It's only a matter of time until they manage to get in here.
They don't have the access code to the bridge.
That door won't keep them out forever. We need to find a way to protect ourselves.
How? We don't have any weapons.
No, but the computers here have master access to the life support systems in the rest of the ship.
Of course. Kill them all to save our own skins.
Grow up, Amelia. Once they kill us, they'll either turn on each other, or if by some miracle they decide to play nice, they'll die in a matter of weeks, probably sooner. At least this way, we can survive.
We don't know that. I'm not going to sacrifice all their lives just so we can live a little longer.
It would take another ship years to get here. The group cannot survive that long.
We could be within weeks of a colony. We have no idea how long we've been in stasis. For all we know, a rescue team might already be on their way.
We don't even know that our transponder is working. The slim chance of them surviving isn't worth letting ourselves die.
We don't have any food, and you're already injured.
They would be dead in minutes. Then we return the systems to normal and go back to the medbay. They're here. Are you really just gonna let them kill us?
Fine. You won't have that blood on your hands? Go right ahead, but I won't help.
I'm bleeding out. I can barely move. I need you to do it for me.
Maybe we can reason with them. Threaten to turn off the life support.
You think they're willing to sit down and talk?
Tell me what I need to do.
Go to that control panel, right? No, the other one. Yeah, right there. Open the control pad and type in 1191212. Great. Now the button next to it should have been illuminated. Just give it a press. Press the button, Amelia. Amelia, press the damn button.
Fine! This is Dr. Amelia Faheem of the Hermon. We've been stranded on a planetoid somewhere on our way to the Alpha Centauri colonies for about 3 months. There was an attempted mutiny and things got messy. There's only 2 of us left. If by some miracle you're receiving this message, please send help. Senior crew meeting, I suppose. Technically, Captain Faheem presiding. It's been around 2 weeks since I killed the rest of the crew and passengers. Gerard died a couple of days afterwards. His injuries were worse than initially suspected. I couldn't save him. I fear I made the wrong choice. I was frightened and about to die, and I acted stupidly. I broke my oath as a doctor, and I became a murderer. It's funny, I was so relieved when we got on this ship. When I heard the solar flares were going to hit, I thought I was going to die. Then when they told me about the ships, I convinced myself I would make it out of all of this alive. Now I'm here, in this mess, alone and slowly running out of air. I've decided I'm going to see the stars one last time before I die. I've taken one of the landing shuttles to the surface. It's pretty cold up here, but the currents seem to keep the water from freezing. Assuming there's atmosphere out there, I should have around a minute before I die. In the far more likely event, it's vacuum, my lungs will rupture instantly and I'll be dead in a few seconds. At least this way it'll be quick. Well, here it goes. Oh my god. Oh my god.